Hi, everybody. We're live and on time. What can I say? Uh, I've I got a lot of good responses to my sea lions. I'm going to give it a few seconds for people to get in here. Um, but the sea lions are part of a two-part story I was following about riding the waves. Sea lions happen to be in the waves, and they're actually riding surfboards on the waves, which is kind of cute. But this sea lion story actually started last November and it got back in the press again recently. But in that interim between November and when they came back again, there was also a story about how killer whales were actually attacking ships and hurting people. Um, you can put if you put questions in. I'm going to do your G Covington, but if you can put them in caps, makes it easier uh, to. I'm going to do our questions too, but what happened is I saw this story about killer whales really attacking ships. I mean, really, and hurting people. And the way I heard it was with the comedy talk show I listened to in the morning. And they were saying they thought someone had thrown a thesaurus in the sea, and killer whales found out what killer meant. So now they were following through on their orders. But what struck me at the time was we've known with the photonic changes, the subatomic particles that were no longer being successfully shielded by the cloud that was in the galaxy protecting us, we're now kind of on our own. And the and one of the theories was, since this started about 2017, that it was changing it could be changing our DNA or our wiring systems as conscious beings, because the last time this happened was 13,000 years ago, and no one was writing on the cave walls, by the way, we feel like we've changed. So no one knows. The reason they know it's happened 13,000 years ago was they found proof of it in the rocks. Geologists found where some energy form was coming onto the earth, and it was actually changing the crystal uh, crystal entities within the rocks. And then they went and they said, well, had this ever happened before? And they went back looking. It happened 26,000 years, 39,000 years. And as far back, you just go back 3,000, 1,300 years, yeah, 13,000 years. And you would see the changes in the rocks. So I thought, when I heard about just the changes in the rocks and didn't see any changes in animal behavior, I thought, well, if it does that to a rock, what does that do to us? So I can tell you a few little things. These are comments. If you saw the otter things, um, these are the comments. I liked you guys' comments, so I copied them so we could see them. And this Diva 369 apparently knows more about the stories long term than I do. It's just one aggressive sea otter known as 841. Experts are attempting to capture and relocate her. She was born in a sanctuary and released into the ocean. So she was already sort of acclimated to humans. It's very unfortunate for everybody, and it really is. And the next one is they've been seeing everyone else surfing and they just want to give it a try. Sounds like a good idea to me, Karen. Um, Maybe it's the otter equivalent of get off my lawn or I've had enough of this. Maybe they just ran out of patience. Can't say as I blame them, but I don't know how long surfers have been surfing off California and they've never seen this before. Um, it's happening in your county where she lives in Santa Cruz. It seems a little bit strange. Yeah, it does when the wildlife starts turning on you. And then Dark Brew wrote, they're just trying to escape the hot water. And I can believe that because they said that on the East Coast around Florida, the water's 98.6. That's like getting into a hot tub because it's equal to your body temperature. Can't get in there and cool off. And Catherine thought it was fascinating. And I agree with her. I think it was a fascinating story, and I'm following it and the killer whales, and I'm trying to figure out. I found a couple of articles about how they're seeing changes in our DNA during this time and what we're going to do with it. And this, I think, is fun because this is the day after the new moon. We are now in Aries and Libra in the lunar nodes, and everybody's gotten to know more about the lunar nodes than they ever cared to. But I'll tell you what's fascinating to me is it takes 18 years, approximately 18, between 18 and 19 years, for the lunar nodes to go completely around. And so they're back in the position they were. And that puts them back, where were you in 2004? And 2004 was an intense year for me. I completely shifted careers. Um, that was the year my husband died. And in the time of these lunar nodes, my mother died 5 months after he died, and my father died just as they began to shift out into the new set of lunar nodes. So I'm really not expecting a lot of deaths because I don't have a lot of people around me who are older anymore, left anymore. But I did shift careers. I went from uh, running my own company then to being a state executive for a professional organization. And then I went into politics. And it was clearly in that point at 2004 that I went into politics. And I was full blown up to my eyeballs in it by 2006. And then that ran for another 6 years. So I don't feel like I'm shifting careers again, but I didn't know I was shifting at that point either. There's a whole lot of change in my life. So, and I think at this point in my life, I'd like it to sort of slow down a little bit. So, in keeping with talking about not letting all the shifting changes that are going on around us set us off or push us in the wrong direction, um, I was reading Eileen Caddy, who is with the Findhorn Foundation. I get their weekly notes, and this time the notes came from her book called The Still Small Voice, and how to get in touch with that still small voice inside of yourself. And it was like five paragraphs long. It's too long to read, but the summary was: only you can hold your serenity in these times and of change. Go by yourself and find the sense of calm, and then listen to the still small voice. And that's what I've kind of having to do because, as you know, I'm getting ready for Nine Candles. And the Nine Candles is all about the changes and the shifts and the energetic shifts. And I'm trying to not get so swamped with that I don't take time to realize the really great changes that are happening, that I can feel happening around me and within my family group and within the people who are around me. And I'm I'm just grateful for that to be going on now. So now I'm going to go on to, this was the one person who wrote a question in comments, and it goes, I have a short-term assignment coming up next week working with little humans who are going to be getting ready for kindergartens. You realize you're working with little light workers and star messengers because they're born in this time for them to survive what the world's going to go through. And it's not a bad thing, but just to be able to be there and help it move forward, that's going to take a lot. So she's feeling really good about it, Roni. So we're going to check on the table and see if that's a good idea. And I think I'm going to roll um, the stones into the garden. I had a fun experience this morning. I have a person who just recently bought a garden, and she said, I have a cousin who lives in Dallas who can pick it up for you and bring it to me because she's coming up to visit. So I got to meet her. Got to meet her cousin. We had a lovely time. So Mary Lee, your garden is on its way. And so we're going to concentrate on Roni Y and how is this going to be a good assignment, short term, but a good assignment for Roni Y. It may be short term, but I think it's going to go into the fall. And I'll tell you why. I'll find my sheet. Because you're going to be letting go of some limitations you felt you've had. That's really important. And then you look at these other four, they all just in a straight little line here. So I'm going to start at the base. And it's your clarity is between earth and fire. And it's, I think you've been a teacher in the past, or you've always wanted to teach, or it was sort of a dream of yours. There's going to be a lot of skills that are just going to sort of pop up while you're working with the kids, and you can find out I'm really good at this. I have a lot. You have a lot of paths that are going to force you to look at the skills you have and what you want to make have happen, and you're going to use ideas from your past that carry you forward. So that's really positive. Now, you're going to have to do a whole lot of rethinking, girl, because you got three stones. I don't think I've ever had three stones in restate before, but your body's in restate, and you're going into this because your options weren't clear, and so you decide, well, I'll take a chance at this. It's here. What fun! Then, but it says you're going in the right direction, but you're going to need a lot of clarifying, and your restate for your grounding says rethink when you first get there and you're all enamored with the job, rethink it, look at it from all the perspectives of what suits you, because your energy, your grounding energy, is falling into the solar plexus, which is the the power, and it says that it's going to burn out your self doubts that have been blocking your power. This whole experience, it's going to be great for you, Roni. I don't think I've ever seen as much fun, and I've never seen three rocks manage to squish themselves in that tiny little space before. So let's go see. I saw a question that was on the board before I came over here. I'm going to hide Roni and go to comments. If you want me to read for you today, it's a good day because we ain't got a lot on the table, kids. Um, My boss is horrible with money and the company is not paying its bills on time. Will the company close before the end of October 2023? Okay, I'm going to do this as a yes no with a pendulum. And the pendulum I picked to put out today is my heavy. Oh, I got to put the. You can't see it unless you're on the table. And okay. As you know, this is the pendulum I'm going to use. It's my metal one. Um, It came with a little booklet on how to practice reading with pendulums, which is something I intend to do one day. Show you ways you can sort of test your feelings with your pendulums. You put things under cups, you put things on paper and shuffle them around, and it's a real fun little exercise to get you used to using the pendulum. And as you know, for me, this is yes, and this is no. Okay, so let's see what Boss Man's up to. Move my hand so you can see it. Let's see. I have to move a stone. Is her boss, is that business going to be there under his tutelage in 2023? Yeah, sort of. Okay, let's see. Will it be closed? Will he be closed by the end of the year in 2023? Okay. Will he be keeping it going so he can sell it by the end of the year or find someone to assume its responsibilities? That's what I got. When I started swinging it, I got he's going to keep it alive so he has something to sell. I don't know how that will affect you, but I hope that helps, G. I could ask another question for you, and I think I'm going to. I'm going to hide his question. Go back to you. I'm just going to do it in front of me. Should G. Covington be looking for a new job? Yes, absolutely. You should be out looking for something else. Um, Hi from Vermont. I hope you're dry in Vermont. I was talking to Dorothy Morgan when we were getting ready to take day one of the candles, and she lives in Vermont, and she lives in New Hampshire. And I was telling her that in Texas, we lose in our heavy storm seasons, we lose more people to flash flooding than we do to being blown away, because the water just comes in so quickly, and it's much more dangerous. It starts in the early spring. They start saying, "Watch out for floodwaters." And we had a night in 1999. It was graduation day at the high schools and most of the colleges in the area. It's that Friday night. We had horrible rainstorms come through, and 10 people were killed in flash floods that night alone, including some poor guy who had just graduated from SMU. And if you've never been to Texas, we have, in some corners, we have giant places that the water can go to drain away. And apparently he got caught up in it and he went down the drain. Wouldn't that be horrible to have spent 4 years going to college, get your diploma, and then get washed away? I just thought that was the saddest story. Okay, everybody's saying hi to everybody. That's true. Dolphins do co-surf with surfers, and they've also been known to push them to the shore if they get incapacitated. So I don't think these sea lions didn't look like they wanted to get near the shore. All they wanted was the surfboard. And shark attacks have been spiking. A hungry tiger shark ate a 20-year-old Russian man in the Red Sea in 2 minutes. The video was shocking. I'm glad I didn't see the video. The water's getting warmer. I was telling one of my clients who's up in Canada, I apologize for the fact that we were sending our white killer sharks to Canada. They're going up the coast because the water's warmer in the sea. Okay. What's up with me for the next 2 months? Okay. We're going to get to reset everything here. I wish I just had one button, but I have to do 3 clicks to change. Okay. What's going on around Christine? Ooh, okay. If you're not familiar with the kind of the layout of what we're looking at, Earth is where things grow from. Fire is the past lives or the past in your life, the history of your life that's triggering things right now. It's the south. Uh, Water is the west, and that's where the energy of your life is moving. So your life's around body, and it's in water. And when it's in water, it says you're getting a lot of help from grounding elements. Physically within your body, you're beginning to feel grounded by yourself. Your clarity is coming out of the things from the past, which is good. Use ideas you carry from your past or have used in this life to find solutions. So that's going to be an important thing going on around you for the next 2 months. But then you've got a lot of stuff coming out of your past. Your mind is in the past. And it says right now you need to break from previous experiences in order to move forward. And you've been doing that slowly. You've been weeding out the things that have not been, you didn't think you saw the situations you're going into correctly at first, but you're past that now. And you think you figured out a solution. And in your past, also, you have looked to the patterns that have happened around you up to now. And that's really prominent in this space. So look to the patterns that have served you well in the past, because something's going to come up and you're going to feel like this is awfully familiar. And what can I do with it? And then you're just going to have to trust your spirit, because your spirit is in crown chakra, tree of life and true. And when it's in true, spirits goes forward with great harmony in this plan. And then you've got the best placement, the tree of life. I love it there. And it says actions you take without considering your spirit will be empty, but your crown chakra is telling you spirits is going to harmonize all your efforts. So whatever you're going through in the next 2 months, it's going to be very foundational for you, because it's bringing forth a lot of changes within you. It's going to help you get a lot more grounded, and you're going to kind of be putting things together that you've thought of before, and it's going to be very positive for you. So I hope that helps, Christine. It looks good. Okay, let's see if Dina has any messages from her guides. Okay, guides. Okay, I'm going to roll one stone in, and it's the spirit stone. And it's going to tell me what area your spirit needs to be working with right now. Oh, you got two spaces. You got air and water. And those are the shamanic elemental areas. They're at the base of everything we do. And your spirit in there says spirit's transforming your thinking right now. And your transmutation is almost complete. So you've been working really hard on something. That's what the guides are saying. They're saying trust what you've already learned because you're moving right now, you're moving into a completion of a spiritual change within yourself. I hope that makes sense. Makes sense to me. I mean, I understand what I'm saying, but no telling. Okay. And then Jason, yeah, you can get a garden reading. I'll do a general garden reading for you because you didn't ask for guides or say what part of your life you want to look at. Okay, you've had things shifting from spring into summer. Summer, you're starting some stuff's going. It's going to gather together in the fall. It's going to become complete in the winter. So, but where we see your clarity is between earth and air. Okay, you need to be really, really clear that your thoughts are clear, and that's interesting because it's right by the your mind. This is clarity. This is mind, the yellow calcite, and you're just really now this summer you're getting final thoughts on what's going on around you. Now you've got because you've got some real interesting changes. You've got your spirit completely in the sacral chakra, and it's completely in there. It's not over any of the lines. It's actually sitting right, tucked itself up in that corner, and your spirit is it's inspiring you to have a lot of really creative energy right now, and you've got your grounding in fire, which means you're grounding your pyrites in fire. There's something from your past, and that's what's over here. There's something from your past you have to deal with before you can just completely move on. But your body being in water, it says you're really getting grounded, you're getting everything pulled together, it's going to be fine. But something that started this spring going into the early summer, and we did that on the 20th of, we had the solstice, you came in to summertime, and you're working on some issues, and a lot of it feels like it's more in your mind than in your body. But your body says, yes, I'm going to accept it, it's going to go forward. This is the most important stone for you on here. Your spirit stone being the sacral chakra, because it says your spirit, whatever's going on, rectifying these things, coming to terms with them, learning how to understand them, is moving you into using your spirit much more creatively. So that looks good, Jason. Oh, glad you're here. Glad you got to catch alive. Hi, Nancy Jean. Why did a dragon head pop out of a wooden dresser? Was it trying to tell me something? What was it trying to tell me? Okay. My dragon, Cecil, who's a real cutie pie, and let's see if I can find him in my slides. I think I still have him. I don't have him in my slides today. But when Cecil shows up, he's to take me somewhere. So I'm gonna have to roll stones in it because I don't think your dragon works exactly like my dragon. They don't always. But dragons are very elemental energy, and they're usually telling us to get grounded to the earth. So, what's the dragon trying to tell? Uh, uh, oh, I'm going to put it there because that's where it seems to want to go. You know what I do? Okay, so I left this because it tumbled out of my hands twice in the same space. It tumbled into the heart, and it's encouraging you to deal more with the problems you have in the physical realm than what you've been doing. And then they all kind of go around a little circle. So your mind is saying you're having to really rethink some things that are going on around you right now, and thinking about how that situation is viewed. It's something that did come out of your past, but it's something that served you well. So you're being drawn towards something that served you well before. So work with that. And then the energy that's moving you forward is really cool. You've got spirit and water. It's trying to tell you your transmutation is complete, that you need to quit thinking something else is going to bump me in the butt. I mean, personally, if I had a dragon head come out of my dresser, I would think I was moving in the right direction. But you need to, uh, your spirit's transmutation is completed, and you should have clarity from that by now. You have all the clarity you need. Follow the path that appears most obvious. And that's what the dragon's trying to tell you. You've been putting off doing something or moving in a new direction from where you are right now. It's telling you to move forward. You've got all the clarity you need. You can't sit and meditate on it anymore. Okay. Lady from Vermont says she's on the New Hampshire border, so she's safe. Okay. We've just moved here. Will it be hard to make friends? I'm going to do that with the cards. That's a card question. And okay. Okay. Will Joanne make friends? Will Joanne Salem make friends? Where she's living right now. I think you're going to eventually make it, and the sun always says yes. Right side up or upside down, the sun is yes to me. But where you were before, you had much more established roots. So it's taking a little while, and you just have to get out of, you've gone through all the stuff of moving, you got to get out of the hiding at home. And you're going to meet some people pretty soon that are going to warm up to you and not be combative. And then it's going to be, what do you make of it? How do you meet people? Um, I don't know where you live. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what your circumstances are, but this says that you're going to be the one in charge. It's not going to feel as smooth because either you or the people who are with you had stronger ties to where you lived before, and that's kind of hard. I know I remember when I moved to Texas, I'd lived 18 years in the same place, and I knew the people there and I understood them. And all of a sudden, I was in Texas, and I've been here ever since. And I'm 74 now, and I still don't understand them. Um, so I mean, that's it's tough if you don't. Your fire departments aren't ready for floods, and I gather they were record-breaking floods. They're ready for all the crappy weather here. The only thing we don't have here is forest fires because we don't have forests. Is anything new coming for me? Okay. Oh, Joanna says she moved to Delaware. I don't know how you feel about working in politics, but during campaigning season, it's a great place to meet new people because a lot of people that are there don't know each other. I used to make a point when I was working with volunteers of whether it was public broadcasting or politics or working with professional organizations that had volunteer events. I made a real point of getting my volunteers to meet each other, and I interviewed every single one of them even when there were 3,000. And I found out kind of what they were there for. It's a great way. Volunteering is a great way to meet people. Okay, and we're going. Blood moon, is anything new coming for you? Well, you just had your new moon last night. What do you want? Everything? Okay. Bad joke. Yeah, I can see why you feel that way. You've had some losses and you've had some things you thought were going to turn around for you. You're working really hard. You're planting the right seeds. Your problem is getting rid of the delusions that you get about things that you see, and then you'll start moving, because the hangman reverse means you get off. You've seen enough of what you need to see and you can move forward. So I think something's coming to you. It's been a hard fought deal for you, Blood Moon, but something new's headed your way. You just have to be aware of it. Yeah, I think you'll be able to make friends, Joanna. I think that's true. I think it's just hard because you've moved it, especially because a lot of people are wary about actually being. We were talking about that this morning. It's still hard for me to get out, and I used to meet tons of people all the time when I was doing readings, and I got used to being home. I got used to being not with people. I remember the first time a person touched me after I pulled myself out of the world. And I had just gotten my shot to kind of keep me safer from COVID. And I explained to this, I was in a hardware store mailing something. We have a hardware store here where you can mail things from. And this woman was come up and she needed help. And she was putting together sample boards because she was doing faux finishes. And I used to do faux finishes. So I told her how at this particular hardware store you could go and buy sheetrock and they'd cut it up into the size boards you wanted. And she should go just buy a big piece of sheetrock, figure out how many pieces she needed, and get a couple extras for the ones you screw up. And that's what I did. And I taped their edges and I marked them on the back, what I did with them. And I had about 360 sample faux finish boards when they stole my truck and burnt it. And there went my sample boards. There went my career doing faux finishes. I needed to not be getting on ladders anyway. It was a long time ago, guys. It didn't happen like yesterday. Someone wants a general guard reading. Eliza Bassett. Okay, Eliza. Well, you're going through some very important structural changes in your basic form. You've got. I'm going to have to read the body for everything it has. You're grounding your thoughts. You're embodying your past. Physical changes are coming to you. Are going to be coming quickly. And you're going to get a lot of help by your ability to ground yourself. That's the stone in the middle. Now, so that's a whole lot to go on. You're grounding your thoughts, and when you ground your thought, that's really going to help you. Water has mine. It says you need to let go of limitations. No wonder you've got all this stuff at your base. Things you've always anchored yourself to, you need to start making some thought changes about that, Eliza. Your spirit's in air, which is good. And your spirit, your own feelings with what you feel from your spirit inside is what's changing your thinking. And you've got your grounding between earth and air. More is about to be brought forward to you and they're going to come through your mind. If you let go of those limitations, your mind can bring more to you because your clear mental actions are your new path to abundance. But what we've got is your clarity is coming out of your past. And you've got an idea that you wanted to do a long time ago, and you're not really sure about doing it. But if you pull all that energy into the center of your body, Eliza, you're going to get a real burst of energy, a real change. And this is a great chime for manifestation. This is the energy that's coming into our planet. And you'll see it when you see some of the what people have come up with in the 9 candles, how we're all thinking about it. It is such a period of manifestation. It's such a period. So anything that a while ago would have seemed impossible, but you always thought it was a really good thought, you have all the power to do it. You just need to let go of that limitation. It may have even been something you started before, Eliza, and it didn't quite work. Think it through again because it can. And Melissa V, we're talking your guides. We're going to talk. We're going to talk for you. I'm going to throw spirit and clarity. Oh, great. You got your clarities in the root chakra right up there. And it says, tying to cosmic wisdom is what's needed right now for the new base you're building for yourself. And your spirit is in water, which is lovely because spirit likes water. And the reason you can do this now is because your transmutation is complete. Your guides are telling you now is the time to begin to manifest. And I think we're going to see this message over and over again because the universe is bombarding us with energy to help us manifest new things. So I hope you listen to, just sit down and what they're, okay. Addie's telling me, Addie's my guide. Addie's saying, your guides keep nudging you and you keep dismissing them, Melissa. Do not dismiss them. Listen to them. They're telling you what is just the most basic thing for you to do in your life. It's about to come into it. So that looks good. Ooh, rather you than me. Driving half the country this coming week. How does your trip look? So I'm going to do this with the pendulum because the rocks could give me all kinds of funny messages and I'm not used to doing trips with them yet. So we're going to see. How does Mountain Sage's trip look? Really good. Really good. And you might have a few little problems because it's swung not as far here. It's going to be really good on the end of the trip. You're really, really, really going to adjust it and enjoy it. Mountain Sage. You just have a great trip. When the pendulum swings, if it swings evenly between two places, like if it would go from here to here, then I'd say, the whole trip would be even. But what happened was it was swinging way out at the end of the trip and not so much the beginning. So there's going to be some stumbles. Things don't go as quickly as you think. Don't let it get you down because the whole rest of the trip is going to go much smoother. You got to report back and tell me if that's true. Addie's telling me it's true, but I want to hear it from you. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to figure this one out. Do the guides have any info on the frequency at the base of my skull? And I take it that's skull with a K because skull with the C is a sailing term. So I don't think you're talking about the base of your rowing motion. Anything coming for me, feeling really calm, like something's coming. Okay, so let's just do a general. What's going on around Kathy H? Okay. You too have spirit in your root chakra and connection with your spirit. Some of that buzzing might be that the spirit's trying to talk to you, and since it's a little bit and go for it, I think your spirit's trying to talk to you. You're not listening to them at times. Spirit needs to be aligned with your ideas, so you need to not have wandering thoughts. You need to get focused. They're telling you need to get focused. Then you've got your body is in fire. It's something that's coming out of your past that you just have to deal with now, girl. No two ways around it. Your clarity is in earth, and the correct one hasn't been presented to you. You can think, I see you thinking, I could go this way, or this way. And you're not really sure which one to go to. That's going to become very clear when you get your spirit aligned with your creativity that's going on there. You've got your grounding. You need to sit down and get your mind quiet because your mental paths and what it's telling you are the things that are going to lead you forward. And your mind is in air. Your thoughts are all important at this point in time in your life. But final thoughts to the situation are coming. That's what's happening to you. You're being guided, but some part of you is not accepting that yet. I think if you get to the point where you can accept it, you'll feel it and it'll be okay. And it looks good. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It's just you have to decide to make it what you want. And this is a great time of manifestation. So, new things and new moon. Okay. We're going to do a pendulum on you, blood moon. Okay. New things coming. I hope you planted an intentions list because it'll make it a lot easier for the. Okay, that's. Yes, they are, but not as much as you wanted because you haven't been definitive with your intentions. Um, you need to get really, and there's still time to do it. I always say, since I'm a procrastinator, 48 hours within new moon, and we're still, my watch is still saying it's the new moon. So um, I'd go over your intentions list, blood moon, and make sure you've asked for the things you really want. Okay, let's see. I'm going to do cards because it's more situational. She wants to know, will I have trouble finding a job once my boss shuts down the company? And she's got it even better. She even wrote it better. She wrote it all in caps, so I'm going to show that one. Should I start looking? Okay. Job once boss shuts down the company. You need to get off your, this isn't really going to happen, and you need to get past feeling like I know where I am. You need to cast down your burden, and you're going to find a job really quickly. I say what this says, what I'm asking. Well, I have a problem finding my job once my boss shuts down the company. This says no, 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 no. And you're going to go to work for a business person. This could be a male or female, but they're a good entrepreneur. I don't believe that knights and queens and kings are necessarily based on one sex. I used to read tarot for a couple of years in a gay club in Dallas every once in a while. That's when I found out that kings are not always kings and queens are not always queens. And that was in the 70s, before a long time ago. But this says for you, uh, you need to realistically face it's going to close down. Let go of any warm feelings you have about your coworkers. Cast this burden off. You've been not used as well as you could have been at that company. And the second you put your mind to it, you're going to find the right job. So I'd start looking now. I'm going to see about now. Yeah, if you start going looking now, and this is the now time, you're going to meet the right people. You're going to not get feeling isolated, feeling like a hermit, and you're going to get a much better job offer. So I'd start looking now. Oh, the Delaware. Yay. Okay. Let's see what your guides think's going to happen to you in the next little bit for you. See if they see any season with changes in it for you. Not much is going to be happening around you this summer. This fall, things are going to change, but winter's going to be big for you. And what the guides are saying about how this path builds is final thoughts to your situation are coming. You're not even really sure what's going on around you yet, but by fall, you're going to get real clear about what's going on around you. You're going to, it's going to be an old idea that you wanted to work on before, and you're going to push towards it, and you're going to find it in the winter. This is winter, and true. You'll be seeing things very much more clearly in the winter because of some obligations you feel like you have now. Your body is in water. It's going to help because you're going to be much more grounded and much more ready to move. And your spirit is between water. Your transmutation will be complete in the winter. It's actually going to be complete in the fall, but you'll feel it and you'll know exactly how to use all the changes that are going on around you. And your spirits think will have transformed your thinking so you can go on to this great new possibility out here. So um, I think be aware, be looking around you. You can, I mean, this is like today, so you can change this. You want to make big changes in the fall, but it says you're going to be much more ready to. Oh, okay. This is what her question was. You'll be much more ready to take on what's coming for you in the winter. I had a feeling it was a seasonal question. Hi, Nancy from Ireland. Uh, hello. Do you see what's out for me? Okay, we'll see what's going on around you, artistic world. You're what if you're on the west coast of Ireland, we might be related. That's where my mother came from. Okay. You're going to have an interesting fall and a winter too. What I'm seeing for you in the spring was you got some bright ideas in the spring. You were ready to start doing something different. This summer, I don't know what you're doing, kid. There's no stones in here, but they're leading you to in the fall. Um, you're going to be doing something that's come out of your past, but it's also um, they're going to give you some new enlightening ideas, things may seem cloudy to you right now, but they shouldn't be because by winter you've got your mind um, is up here in water, and you're going to let go of the limitations. A lot of people let go of limitations. I think that's the new energy that's pouring in. I think it's giving people the idea, yes, I really can manifest what I want for myself. So you're going to be let going of limitations, and then you've got your clarity is in go for it. In the winter, you're going to move now on the intuitions you've been having. Your ideas are very correct. And in the water, you have all the clarity you need. Follow the path you're on. So something that you've been germinating right now is going to come, it's just going to come through like a straight line. But you're going to have to get rid of, you're another person that had an idea, you worked on something once, it didn't work out the way you wanted it to. You didn't walk away from it completely, but you kind of go, oh, well, I've done that. Well, don't do it. Don't look at it that way. Look at it, what can I manifest from what I know? I'll read what's going on with you, Tammy. I'm not going to worry about your mom. I really am trying to get away completely from spying on other people, and I call that cosmic spying. And I know it pisses people off, but I'm concerned about you, and you're the one I can talk to. And without them asking me to do that, I almost think it's a violation of privacy. And I realize other people see it totally different. Maybe you do, but I wouldn't want someone reading on me. I don't know if you know this, but lots of readers don't like having readers read on them. And I always ask them, do you want to have a 3-month reading, 6-month reading? I give away readings for birthdays, and at Christmas I give away readings to other readers as a gift for when they've helped me. But I always ask them first. I would never read anyone without their permission. Okay, Tammy. What's going on with Tammy? I'm sure it's going to be brilliant because Tammy's really a lovely follower. She's been following me for a long time, and I appreciate that. Oh, girl. Yes. Well, you've been on the horns of a dilemma, but you're making a decision, and it's going to, no matter kind of, you thought it was the horns of a dilemma, almost which way you went, it was going to be okay. Um, you could seek counsel and get some information from other people. You're hesitant to do that. You want to build this your own way, and you're not. You're willing to take the hits if everybody doesn't appreciate how you run things. That's okay with you. But um, you right now you're in a great place. I mean, I know sometimes people say not looking to the hermit. The hermit, if you look at it, the hermit's the one who gives you the wise advice. When I'm reading someone, they're usually this person reaching up to see the light the hermit has. You got enough light from the sun here. You don't need to worry about it. You've got enough of a foundation built that you can go ahead with it. It's not going to go ahead as smoothly as you would like because there's going to be some things come up in the middle. They may cause you a little bit of emotional pain, but don't worry about it. You're moving in the right direction. Absolutely. Getting away from being caught in the horns of the dilemma is always better, I think. But that's just me. What can I say? Oh, good, Celtic Seer. I hope you come to the garden party next month, too. If you want to learn how to read the garden, and if you want to buy a garden, you go to my store at crystaldirections.com. There's a shop. You can buy gardens, um, and it has the instructions. It has all the stones. Everything comes in a cute little tube, which I think most of you have seen ad nauseum. The Oracle Garden looks like that. All this stuff is in this little tube, and we'll get it mailed to you. And you will then, if you join, it's the only thing I put behind a paywall because I do it twice a month. Um, because it takes a lot of time and but it's a lot of fun. We meet, we go over if anybody's a newbie, we go over kind of how to catch up with all your thoughts on it. Then we all bring questions and we read the different questions that the other ones bring. The class is approximately 2 hours long. Westmeath. I don't. Is that if that's on the west? Leinster. I wish I listened better when my mother talked. She can't talk. Well, she could come through and talk to me now, but we don't have that kind of relationship. Um, she lived on the western edge, but not like right on the ocean. But my pictures I've seen of the western part of Ireland, it's beautiful, but it's like a lot of cliffs, and she hated cliffs. Okay. And I'm going to cut the questions off now. If it's not posted by now, it's not going to get read. Message for July. Thank you. I kind of didn't get a lot of sleep last night because my cat disappeared. Um, she didn't really totally disappear. She likes to hide in closets. She got my daughter's closet and didn't make a noise. And then my daughter gets up early in the morning to do her work. And so I was out walking at 3 in the morning, going up and down the alley looking for her. I thought she might have gotten out because the kids have been taking all the trash out. And she's not a skinny little cat, but she's a fast little thing. And I realized about 3:30 she wasn't in the alley because she's never been an outdoor cat. She doesn't know what to do out there. And all she does is run for about 2 feet and then find the closest bush she can find and hide underneath it. So, Celtic Seer, message for July. So I'm a little bit dipsy, guys, because I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. My daughter found her this morning in her closet, and she looked at my message and went, "Oh my God," and let me know immediately she'd been found. Oh, movement, 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 Celtic Seer. It's maybe a choice that you didn't want to make. You've been putting it off, but you're going to find balance in it. This is movement, and this can mean movement in a job or movement in a living place. I probably don't think it's you're moving your living place. You're getting less obsessive about the things that are going on around you. And for some reason, having to make this choice is a little bit of a heartbreak to you. It's one you haven't wanted to make, but these shows it's positive. So, and I would love to have you come to the class and see what's going on. Okay, Mountain Sage liked her reading. Uh, Okay, people are telling me I'm right. They need to focus. Okay. Do I see Sandy moving on from the RV resort? Uh, I tell you, artistic world. My parents went back to the part of Ireland that my mother's family came from, and um, I was in my 30s at the time. And my mother said, if we dropped you here and you didn't open your mouth, you look exactly like all the people around us. We kept seeing your face over and over and over again. They sent me some pictures. There's some pretty good matches there. I think, well, I know I'm Irish and Viking, a little tiny bit of Portuguese, and like 2% English or something. I'm about as Irish as you get since the Vikings took over Ireland, too. Sandy, RV resort. You're going to find a place you like so much better. I see you moving on because it's been good for a while, but you've been thinking for a time about moving on, and you're going to find a place you really like better. Um, but it's something about kind of the resort atmosphere or something. I think you're looking for something that's a little more solid, neighbors not shifting around you all the time or something. I get a feeling you want to create a network with some people, but I do see um, it's not going to be immediate, but yeah, I do see you moving on because it's not suiting your temperament right now. Celtic Seer is really Celtic. She knows where all things are in Ireland. Okay, Bridget G. Thank you, Bridget G. Oops. I hope I didn't pass by anybody's questions. Okay. Oh, Vernie was walking for the dog last night. Glad your dog came back. Oh, she's got to work off her across the Hudson. Makes sense, a possibility. Okay. Sharon's the world's best dragon slayer and troll slayer and whatever. She keeps out all the bad guys. I don't know what I'd do without her. Okay. Okay, Tammy. I know you're not looking at others, but she's my being an empath. You have to deal with that on your own, dear. You're going to have to seal her energy out because that's the best thing you can do. Um, and I don't know what I can say except for people keep following my channel. We're taping the 9 candles right now. It's really interesting, all the crazy energy that's coming, visiting us on our planet, and how it's affecting each and every one of us, and how it's moving us to a new place, whether we want to go to a new place or not. Uh, okay, this is true. I've seen so many people that have Portuguese in their bloodline Those Portuguese guys got around, let me tell you. And that very well could be too, because my older brother had jet black hair and darkish skin. All the rest of us could glow in the dark. So, so we always say, there's a little bit of everything. My two older children, their grandparents were came from southern lines of whites, whites that had been here. Part of their bloodline went to a crew of pirates that crashed off the North Carolina coast and ended up living. They live all around Raleigh, and but I told when they did their bloodlines, both of them had um, 4 to 6% African American, particularly one tribe, Bantu, which is a very common tribe to find because they were a tribe that got taken a lot and brought over here. So I kind of knew about them, but my third child, his father was an Englishman who he was genetically Welsh, but he said my family crawled into London sometime during the Industrial Revolution, and so he never knew anything about his bloodlines. When he died in 2004, they weren't even doing genetic tests. So we went ahead and we got the youngest one's genetic test run, and she has 4% Middle Chinese. What? I mean, huh? But most of Britain was near trading ports and people that came from all over the place. So I think we're all a little bit of everything. And my grandchildren, who are uh, a quarter of their bloodline is Filipino, they have those kids. When you got their genetic map back, it was like the whole globe, and there were dots everywhere. Those kids, and they are fantastic and they're incredible. So we are what we used to be, but now I'm starting to truly believe a lot of people who do Akashic Records think that the big energy shifts we're going through are going to wipe out our need for having karma, carrying karma in. I think that's why I find so many of the young people fascinating. And I was just reading someone's comment, it was long, um, but all the kids their age are so gifted and understand and just understand about being spiritual. And I think that's our best hope. So, anyway, keep listening to the waves, keep riding the waves. Don't steal someone's surfboard to do it, but ride the waves. And I've enjoyed seeing everyone here this afternoon. I'm not sure if I'm going to be back again on Thursday because every time I set up to do the garden, I have to that's where I have the candles. So I may be maybe a week from now that I'm back on, but of course I'll be on Sunday with Scott, and I'm supposed to be on Astrology Alert with Andre Carr. He got so much good feedback about our discussion of yads last week. So yeah, and don't forget to like me and tell your friends and get them to subscribe. I don't care about people joining. I just want subscriptions, and I try to let everybody know what's going on all the time. And I'm looking forward to inviting everyone to the Nine Candles, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time I'm on the air. And thank you so much for being here. Bye bye.